All right, how's it going, everybody? We are back live from Foxborough. Alex Barth alongside Evan Lazar. Just kind of a quick one here, and then we'll come back on again before the Patriots pick. But we want to get we have to get some thoughts on the top 10.
Yeah,
because it's been wild. First two picks were
chalk. I think a lot of these picks were chalk. Devin White to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was best kept secret in the NFL. Or worst kept secret in the NFL, I should say.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones to the Giants, obviously, I think it's crazy, but that was the guy that they had locked onto for a while, so not that surprising. Listen, I think the biggest surprise so far right now is that Ed Oliver and Josh Allen fell as far as they did. I think that this is great news for the Patriots.
Yeah.
These are two guys that I think a lot of people had in their top fives. I had Oliver as the number 3 player in the draft, and he falls all the way to 9. That kind of pushes a nod of other guys down the board. Obviously, Clelin Ferrell is the guy that the Patriots might have been targeting at the end of the first round, but that's all right. I mean, I think that you're looking at a case now where there's some guys that are going to end up being there in the late 20s, early 30s that you might not have expected.
Here, slide in here a little bit. Come on, I know you're not used to the whole television thing, and that's more me or online, but we want to see your face.
Yeah, my face is beautiful. I think that this isn't too surprising for some of these guys, but I think that it's a nice thing for the Patriots that some of these guys are kind of sliding.
All right, if you guys have any questions, thoughts, comments on the first round, put them in the chat down below. I mean, the biggest surprise, I know you kind of talked about it, and I'm looking over my shoulder because Denver's getting ready to pick here, and this is going to be a crucial pick for the Patriots because could it be Haskins? Could it be Locke? A lot of people think it'll be Locke. Could it be Greer? Could the starter run on quarterbacks? Because you have Cincinnati coming up next. That's a team that could possibly take a quarterback. Washington in a few picks is certainly a team that's going to be looking to take a quarterback. So
I think the pick here for Denver, it comes down to 2 guys for me right now, and it's either Devin Bush, both Michigan guys, either Devin Bush or Rashawn Gary. I think make a whole lot of sense for them. I think that really, though, we're getting to the point of the draft now where there's going to be some more surprises because some guys are just getting really pushed down the board at this point, which is good for New England. And I could see them going quarterback. You know, I mean, they definitely need a quarterback. I think that Dwayne Haskins at this point as he continues,
he should have gone higher than this.
He probably.
Although I don't know, was there any other team besides the Giants that was going to take him when he got past that?
I think
he should have, but was there any other spot he was going to go?
No. But I think the thing that's crazy to me about Dwayne Haskins is that the conversation about him is that it's between the ears that teams are worried about, which when you watch the tape is what's his strength.
Right. And I remember we talked during the season. I wasn't that high on him.
Yeah.
And I saw him in the Rose Bowl. I went back. I watched some other games. That's the first thing that stands out. This guy's an NFL brain.
Yeah. He really
which is
understands
so rare.
What his scheme is trying to accomplish and what the defense is trying to accomplish and how to attack the defense from what he's being given to him by what the play call is on offense. He's a very smart quarterback, a guy that has continuously said throughout this process that he trains and he studies like Tom Brady, that the guy that he wants to be like in terms of his work ethic is Tom Brady, and then there's concerns about his work ethic kind of coming out around the league, which I think is surprising. I would expect that either the Redskins, the Broncos here, or it was the other team that I was just thinking. The Bengals.
The Bengals. I'm not sleeping on the Bengals taking a quarterback because 2 years left.
No, I think the Bengals are squarely in the quarterback market. Yeah.
And then who else do I'm just kind of looking here? Carolina, no. Minnesota, maybe we talked about it a little bit when we were live earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe Tennessee starts looking down the road.
Tennessee.
I don't know that it's a first round need for them, but that's right. Marcus Mariota did just get booed in Nashville, which.
Listen, I think that the good news is here. I think that there's a chance that a guy like Noah Fant is starting to kind of fall down boards a little bit, and I think that comes the question.
Well,
next.
I mean, he could also just go right here.
I mean, anything could happen.
Right.
But I think that the question comes is if one of these guys that people have ranked very highly starts to slip a little bit more further down the board, as we've seen. At what point does New England, start to get into the conversation?
And we have. I was literally about to say, perhaps the biggest surprise of the night is that we haven't had a trade.
Yeah.
And it looks like we have a trade.
The Steelers
have traded up to 10.
Okay, so this is Devin Bush. This is the Michigan linebacker, Devin Bush.
Okay.
Pittsburgh has been eyeing him for a very long time.
And I mean, needing to kind of fill the hole left by Ryan Shazier.
Right, and they're just been wondering whether or not Devin Bush was going to they were able to position themselves to get Devin Bush. So I would be absolutely shocked if this isn't Devin Bush here. Which is, I mean, that's I had Devin Bush as my number one linebacker on the board over Devin White. Devin White's the more athletic prospect. Devin Bush is the more fundamentally instinctive prospect, a guy that's a little bit higher football IQ. The guy that Devin White gets compared to a lot of the time is Miles Jack, as kind of just an athletic freak that still needs to learn the position, but is starting to get there. Devin Bush is finished product.
So I want everybody to know, if you have any questions, put those in the chat. We'll be talking with you. We do have to hop off at 9:30 because CLNS's coverage from the Garden will take over on the CLNS YouTube page. Live, full comments, the full pressers will be streamed after the Bruins game. They were down 2-1 last time I looked. And obviously hope they do a little better, but being down hasn't really phased them. 7:26 to go in the third period over there, but we have to hop off so they can set up the stream. And then we'll come back later on as well. But in the meantime, you can follow along on Twitter at PatriotsCLNS. Twice we've had to use that surprise picture you. I call the surprise Devin, which is really just him yawning, actually. He's not surprised or grossed out or anything. How many times do you think we have to use that tonight? We're already at 2.
We're getting to the point now of this draft where, listen, Clelin Ferrell was obviously the biggest surprise.
Right.
And then...
He was the biggest surprise. I don't know that he was the worst pick.
No, I don't think he was a bad pick. I had Clelin Ferrell as the number 9 player on my board. I was higher on him than most. I think the biggest thing, though, is really what starts to happen to guys like the tackles, for example, Jawan Taylor, Jonah Williams, Andre Dillard. Andre Dillard's a really interesting player for the Patriots, too. There's some guys that are starting to really fall in positions where maybe the Patriots aren't necessarily looking.
So somebody, Leon with a question here on YouTube.
Yeah.
The AFC East loading up on defensive linemen right now. Does that kind of force the Patriots' hand, maybe make them a little more urgent for an offensive lineman?
I mean, obviously the interior of the Patriots' offensive line is pretty set at this point, but having Ed Oliver and Quentin Williams in the division obviously isn't great. Listen, this is the thing. When you have teams like the Bills and the Dolphins and the Jets that aren't very good, you're going to get some good marquee players in the division, right? Like these teams are going to be picking a lot in the top 10, top 15 picks, and they're going to land some big name guys that. And
it is Devin Bush. Just by the way, what the hell is he wearing?
He's got a shoulder injury that he's nursing, so that's a splint.
You never know. That was part of his jacket.
No.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Anyway, you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get into a position whether you think or that you're going to they're going to be good or not is another argument for another day, but you're going to get into a position where these teams are picking consistently in the top 10, the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, or in the Dolphins case, what is it, 13 or whatever, they're going to get some good players. Like, they're going to get some marquee, draft picks. That's what's going to happen.
All right.
Jets are building a nice team. Quentin Williams, Sam Darnold, they got the guys that got in free agency. Listen, on paper, they're a much better team. We'll see what happens.
All right, before we jump off here, because we got to hop off again, Bruins coverage taking over on the CLNS YouTube page. Full post-game comments from Bruce Cassidy and Bruins players, as well as John Tortorella. You don't want to miss what John Tortorella has to say.
Nice tease.
Have you seen John Tortorella's press conference?
He's good.
It's beyond good. He's Rex Ryan and then some. So we'll probably be off here for about an hour, which is probably going to be about, 10 picks, 12 picks?
Sure.
What are you kind of looking at the next hour here?
Where do the quarterbacks go? Where is Dwayne Haskins going to go? Drew Lock. I think that's the first one. The second one, I think there's some guys at the top of my board. Jonah Williams being number 1. Jawan Taylor, the other tackle. Andre Dillard. Where are those guys starting to go? Good news for the Patriots if those guys start going, in the teens instead of, where earlier in the top 10.
All right, we will see. We're going to hand it off to the Bruins here momentarily. Follow along at Patriots CLNS on Twitter. We'll be back whenever the Bruins postgame wraps up. At Patriots CLNS on Twitter. We'll keep you posted for that. Until then, for Evan Lazar, I'm Alex Barth, and keep enjoying the draft, everybody.